What is this? It's meant to be dry. There's a bit of damp on the floor. It's blooming cold, as you can see, because I'm wearing my hat. But yeah, it's race day, VLN 8. The sky is sunny, and it's getting sunny and warm today. It's just not starting off like this. So, might be a dart stamps quali, and then hopefully it will be dry by the end. So, yeah, watch this space for some race updates during the day. Let's go do this! Warm-up in process for the car. Because of the wet track, we're delaying our qualifying programme. So we should be out 8:45 local time-ish. Hopefully when the track's a bit drier.
So the first lap of qualifying, we sent me out on some wets just to see what the track conditions were like, and then make a choice from there. Clearly after one lap the track was drying, so then we were back out again on slick tyres for my first time lap for qualifying. The lap was severely compromised by a big code 60 zone through the Brunchen area, which was a shame, as I think it would have been a half decent lap anyways, but it was also another sort of sighting lap to get mine for the slicks, and then I knew that the final lap would be the one. The lap was still good enough for P2, but the times were dropping so rapidly that I knew I wouldn't be there for very long. So the second lap, I then managed to hook up another good lap. Also, the track was drying, so obviously my confidence was growing. I'd done 2 laps on the slick tyre now, so I knew where I was going. And even in the final chicane here, the track was nice and kind to me. My friend is in the orange BMW here, which is why I do a little bit of a weave in front of him. But even with a code 60 at Strecker, I managed to put the PlayStation car on pole position, which I was really pleased about. Also, the weave kind of coincided with coming across in front of Andy here, but then I can look up and see the TV screen on the right hand side here. I could see the display saying I was P1, so I gave it a little fist pump there. I didn't expect to be P1 for long because the track was drying so quick, but I managed to keep it.
David Pittard, yeah, well done.
Yes, get in. I love these conditions where it's drying. You never know what the pace is going to be, so you just push. I took some big risks out there, really wanted it. And yeah, it's come together. So super pleased for Volkenhorst, super pleased for Yokohama. We're in the best position for VLN 8, so we hope to start and disappear off into the distance again.
Hat das schon fast gewonnen. Thanks a lot. See you on the grid later. Und wir gehen noch mal rauf zu den beiden oben in der Kommentatorenkabine.
And it was a quick lap anyway, because I think we've only had one sub-8-minute pole position so far in VLN 2019.
That was by me as well.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so I'm kind of holding out that I can have the only sub-8-minute qualifying lap for the rest of the year.
The BMW M6 GT3 in the dark blue colours versus the yellow and the green of Manfilter with their number 48 Mercedes, and incredibly powerful GT cars just trundling their way underneath before all of a sudden this race gets into life, and caught napping big style there. Either Maxi Buch or Raffaele Marciello started on the front row way back now, and the 48 Mercedes just doesn't have any forward power. The BMW, though, 34 will lead it, and around the outside here comes the number 6 car that was under question from race control. Well, that's not going to affect its pace in the opening few corners.
I'm going to take my shoes and socks off, but it's more than 10 back to the position where you find the car that started second on the grid, and I'm afraid another Mercedes GT4 car. We've got a lot of debris. There's a very damaged Audi in the middle of the circuit, another car at the side of the track, a Porsche with its bonnet up.
And this is going to be very interesting now, because we've got 2 more groups in order to squeeze through, and white flags being flown and a red flag in flag. Well, that's not hugely surprising, because it was very unsafe now to be releasing 2 more groups of cars right to the scene of that accident.
So, really good result this morning. P1 in super damp conditions. Yeah, my third pole in VLOG021 in 18 months. So, really pleased with that. Be able to see I'm squinting because the blue sky is out and the race is about an hour in. However, all the cars in the pit lane. Snatch on the first corner, which meant that the race was red flagged. So to clean all of that up, because it was in the first starting group, so they still had 120 cars pretty much to come past one big accident. So yeah, probably the right thing to do to stop the race for a bit. So yeah, now there'll be a full restart at some point. So stay tuned.
Tiergarten through Hohenrhein come the race leaders. Red lights on the starting gantry at the moment. For the second time of asking, though, we get underway with VLN 8. It is a much better start for the number 48 Mercedes, staying just about level with the BMW and actually giving it a good run for its money to maybe take the race lead. The problem is there's a huge BMW to its right. Who's going to be later on the brakes? Will it be the Merc? Will it be the M6? Mercedes takes the wider line. The BMW maintains station, but that will give the yellow and green Mercedes the inside line for the next bit, which is aptly the Mercedes arena. They are still completely together, though, side by side, and behind them, 6 and 2 inseparable for third and fourth places.
What a great start. It was as though they were told those are your positions and you will stay exactly the same distance apart, but he came down to within about 20 centimetres between the first two cars. They went down to the opening corner, but it's still the BMW ahead.
We have had a lead change on this lap, Bruce Jones.
It's not blue from yellow, it's yellow from blue. It's about 2 seconds possibly between them.
So yes, the lead did change on lap 2 after Christian made 2 very good starts to defend the lead. Unfortunately, he was then a bit of a sitting duck. In a straight line, the BMW is still not the strongest car in a straight line since the 24 hours, well, since the 24-hour qualifying race anyways. And due to the red flag, we had to put a set of tyres out of the heaters, then back in the heaters again, ready for the second start. And we think that really messed up the sort of compound of the tyre. And as a result of it, we went backwards very, very quickly here. You can see Christian's just a sitting duck to the Mercedes, the Lambo, and we think it was down to the tyre heating procedure, which is a very complex thing, a very complex science, which a red flag start doesn't really tend to take into consideration. So we did a short first stint, only 4 laps, the minimum we need to stay in on sync. I think Christian pitted about P5 or P6, but yeah, we'd already lost a big chunk of time to the guys ahead, unfortunately. So after an early stop of only 45 minutes, or less than, we sent Jody out on a new set of correctly heated tyres for him to then start to make up some of the distance. We're then off sync with everyone, so we just had to run our own race and then try and claw back as much time as we could.
So the 34 BMW started from pole position. They have completed their driver circulation. David Pittard now on board, taking over from fellow Brit Jody Fannin, who took over from the Norwegian, who started from pole position, the winner of last year's Spa 24 Hours, Christian Cronjes, but still half the...
As the 34 BMW powers its way through Tiergarten and Hohenrhein, again on the ragged edge of adhesion, it's David Pittard charging hard and coming into the pits, yes. So that is lap 21, probably on schedule, he says, counting back through now.
Yeah, they were the first ones to sort of blink and came in, I think, after lap 5, so we can do some maths off the back of that.
13, I've got them down as well.
5, 13,
so that, 21, perfect.
Okay.
So after a fairly uneventful and quick stint, I handed back over to Christian so that he could back-to-back the tyres from the first stint to the last stint to make sure that it was just a small issue with the tyre and not anything major.
Up, but they're going to the final sequence of corners with some back markers in front of them, almost being shoved out of the way. Second place to Walkenhorst Motorsport to Christian Cronjes, and Phil Ellis has done.
And then after running our own race, really, staying out of traffic and using the pace of the M6, after the issue we had, we managed to bring the car home P2, which was slightly unexpected, but also really, really good because we were so off sync with everyone. We didn't expect it. So yeah, another podium. So I was really pleased with that. Our sort of package is coming together really nicely for the final part of the year. So great to reward the team with another result. And as you can see from here, I managed to nail my champagne pop, which I was also very pleased with. So all in all, a very good day. If you like this video, please make sure you like it, and if you like all this content, then please make sure you subscribe to the channel for plenty more stuff like this to come. On the way home, however, the car was subsequently excluded from the race, excluded from P2 because of a suspension fault that the scrutineers found. So basically what they found is one of the locking rings which secures the ride height of the car was not done to the correct torque, which means it could have been loosened or it could have been moved during the race. So this stops anyone from changing the ride height, absolutely slamming it to the floor for the first few stints and then jacking it up for the final stint, obviously when scrutineering happens. So just a little fault from the team there, which was a great shame. Yeah, it's not like we did change the ride height in the middle of the race, but the fact that we could have done was enough for the scrutineers to unfortunately exclude us, which was a great shame. But yeah, it's one of those things. The result on track at the end counts. It showed our pace, so we can be happy with the weekend. On to the next one to end on a high.